Hello. On this day in 2023, we were hearing of the sad death of Barry Humphries, who's um, better known as Dame Edna Everage, or perhaps as Sir Les Patterson, because, as you'll know, he had a number of alter egos. He invented these characters who became really popular. Edna Everage, particularly the person who said things that other people wouldn't dare say, and who lampooned his own Australian culture with such great effect, and then expanded into taking the mickey out of almost anybody. Alongside Madge, his subservient sidekick, who he was constantly mocking. The way in which he propelled his character into the public imagination was extremely skillful, and he was a very popular comedian. But it's interesting that apparently in real life, so to speak, he was very different kind of person, always extremely polite, never swore, always gentle and approachable, almost the exact opposite of the Edna Everage character. And it struck me that actually sometimes there are two sides of most people. We have a shadow, so to speak, or an alter ego. The shadow is often seen as being a bit of ourselves that we would rather not face up to. The more less conventional, perhaps less sociable, just less good sometimes. But the alter ego that sometimes lurks within us can often be perfectly satisfactory, but just someone whom we kind of keep under wraps because we think that bit of our lives might not be acceptable. Barry Humphries always had a slightly anarchic streak. He flirted with Dadaism in his younger days, in his student days, and that was an artistic movement that followed on, particularly from the First War. It celebrated irrationalism and anarchy and absurdism, and most of its art was, to start with anyway, was performance art, pranks and things. So there was that side of him always. But in real life, particularly as he grew older, that became much more subdued because he was able to express it through his Dame Edna Everage character. And I wonder how we sometimes suppress particular aspects of our personality and don't let them emerge because we're slightly cautious about how they might be received. Interesting that Barry Humphries says that as a child he used to love dressing up and entertaining people, making them laugh, and he said very clearly that he saw this as a form of defence, because he said if people were laughing they couldn't hit you. And so the characters that he developed, particularly as a younger person, were very definitely a way of defending himself against criticism and against hostility. And I think sometimes we hold back from allowing our true selves to emerge, our alter egos, so to speak, to emerge, because we are worried about creating hostility towards us, about putting people off. Maybe people won't like us if we let the more innovative, more anarchic, more imaginative, more playful way parts of us emerge, that somehow they won't be popular. And so maybe I think today it might be helpful just to look at our lives and see if there isn't a bit of us that we're holding back for that or any other reason, and seeing whether there might be ways in which we can celebrate that sometimes hidden part of our personalities.